can't stay. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of That Nerd Leader podcast. I know the last one felt like it was forever, probably about 2 or 3 weeks. Life has been happening for me on my end, and finally I got around to doing another one. And I'm here to also introduce to you guys to people that I know within the manga space, the blog space, the anime space, all the spaces. It's for people if you get to know. And there's certainly, I have a doozy for you here. She's a fellow Aussie. She's like known as a manga extraordinaire of her knowledge that she has. Now, she probably hates people talking her up like she's some know-it-all about manga. It's just she happens to be very good at remembering certain things about manga, and that's why everybody loves her. She is a YouTuber. Now she's a podcaster, and that is Miss Simply G. Please say hello to everybody.
Hello everyone, I'm G from the channel Simply G. You may know me on YouTube. I do regular videos about manga, sometimes anime as well, and whatever else I care to talk about within this nerdy hobby of mine. And thank you so much for having me on, Lita. It's been a long time since we've been on a podcast together, but I always appreciate the invitation.
Oh, you're most welcome. I'd had you in mind for ages now, and since my podcast last year, the whole solo thing died out, I'd been meaning to have you on again. Because the last time me and G spoke like this was when I was doing a podcast called The Sentiana Girls. Now, that's kind of dead. I don't know. It's kind of in the water right now. But yeah, we had Miss G on then. We did talk about manga. We did. And you were very still, I don't think you were new. I think it was when I was just getting to know you, I think it was. And I'm like, I like this girl. I like her talking about all these manga. Like, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. Like, there was so much. Yeah, I have to say, I've learned a lot from you. Especially about you telling me about Kari Mori, because I didn't know of that author for ages. I didn't. And no, since we last spoke about that, I still have not read Emma. And no, hopefully I'll plan to have read it by the end of this year is my goal, because I don't know why I haven't. But you have grown so much since on your YouTube, like, how many? Over 2,000 people? Some insane rate, some insane amount like that.
It's getting close to 2,600 now. The last time I was on the podcast or with you in a video, I'd probably been doing it 2 years, so I was closer to maybe 1,000, 1,500, something like that. So almost doubled, which is a crazy thing to think about. Through no real effort of my own. I don't deserve the popularity, but so many wonderful people support me, and that's really, really a crazy thing to me, like, honestly. But yeah, my channel has grown a substantial amount. The community has grown a substantial amount as well in that period, and there are so many wonderful people coming into the MangaTube community, into BookTube, into just blogging, anime blogging. There's so many more very talented, creative people, and so I have to work harder to put out my mediocre videos on the occasions that I do.
Well, I think they're far from mediocre. I think, obviously, what a lot of people love about your videos is, I know I said I marketed you very well. Last podcast, Irina says I suppose I do a very good job at selling people. Apparently, I should do it for a job, for content creators, for you to go follow her. You all should go follow G. I'll be telling you at the end of the podcast. But yeah, everyone follows you because just for your knowledge, like that's, and when I say that, you know, when people say that, it's like, oh God, she knows a lot. But that's because that's a lot of stuff you've read, things you've watched over a period of years. I mean, how long have you been an anime and a manga lover for now?
Anime fan, I've been, so it's 2019, probably 10 years now, so a decade. I came into the hobby a little bit later than most people. I've said this numerous times on various different platforms, videos, but I didn't really start knowing what anime was until probably the 10th grade. So yeah, probably 10, 11 years now. And then it was another couple years after that when I started reading manga on a more regular basis. I just didn't really have much interest in it initially, and then slowly I started to venture more into it. I've always been a very avid reader, but I wasn't sure. I've said this again, when I started reading manga, I was reading things specifically that I hadn't seen via anime, that hadn't had an adaptation, because I didn't want to be reading the things that I'd already seen. Which is sort of unusual for a lot of people. Usually you read the manga for shows you have seen, because you're like, I want to see the source material. I want to see, I've heard it's better. That was not me. And then later, even farther after that, I started reading light novels, which are something that I read on a semi-regular basis now as well, too. And yeah, I would say that I do know a lot of things in regards to, you know, whether it be seiyuu and voice actors or studios or mangaka series, whatever. But I think that's mainly fueled by my own interest in it. And I've always had an interest in knowing more about that side of it rather than just having, you know, just a very standard or surface level understanding. I don't know. And I have been blessed with a very good memory, so I retain a lot of it as well, which is maybe an advantage that I take too much for granted when I am making videos on a regular basis on my channel.
As you were saying, I mean, you've been an avid manga lover and anime lover for like 10 years, same as me. So I'd say I'm more knowledgeable in just anime, obviously more than manga, because people are shocked that when I came back into the manga side of things recently in the past 7 months, that I didn't read anything for 6 or 7 years. Oh, I say that, but I probably did read some things, but I've forgotten. That is like long past forgotten. So when I came into all of the new manga space, you know, it's like this feeding frenzy. I was like, oh God, there's so much to like catch up on, and I'm still like behind anyway. I think I've already made my way through quite a few series at the moment, and I think that need is slowly growing. So, but I'd say I'm more of an anime watcher than a manga reader, but I think that is slowly changing. I don't think for me it can overtake between the two. I think it's just always going to be the same love it is. So yeah, I and like you said that, you know, I've watched the anime and then I've got to reread the manga. I want the source material. I'm someone that's not really like bothered. Like right now I'm reading Kami-sama Kiss, because like I didn't even know the manga was that long. I think it's like 18, 23 volumes, something like that. And
25, yeah.
Yeah, or 25. Oh my goodness.
I only know that because I'm planning to read it, and my library has all of it except for the second volume. So I'm like, please, just can you get an interlibrary loan so I can actually read this?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm currently borrowing all the volumes. Well, I don't have all of them. I've only got like a small portion at the moment. It's like, this is like a slow read where it doesn't have to, where I choose not to talk about it on my blog and stuff. It's like, for me, Because there's loads of other things that are going on that I've got to read things for and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, you know, you read things when you've seen the anime, you know, what more the extension of the story, of course you do. And manga does that. It has that. Not all titles do, but some do. Like, for example, I know I've had an anime come in the mail the other day that I've got off eBay, and that was Eureka 7. And that's a good old oldie that I've loved. And I've read the manga years ago, because I remember doing the manga's way shorter than the anime. Whereas in that situation, I prefer the anime than to the manga.
That situation is where the manga was based off of the anime. That one, like, the anime came first, so it makes sense. I don't know. It makes sense to me that it was shorter, because usually when that happens, when a manga is based off of an anime, it does tend to just take like certain parts of it and adapt it its own way, rather than a lot of anime that do have like the manga first and then are trying to make a close adaptation of the source material, like Kami-sama Kiss, like anything. You know, 90% of the stuff we get as anime adaptations, and light novels are sort of the same thing as well. You usually try to get a close adaptation, or studios try to make a close adaptation for those, although again it depends, and a lot of the time the anime is used as a promotional tool to try and get more sales for the manga or the light novel or the game as well, the visual novel that it's based off of.
It's no different when it comes to Gundam as well. You know, it's really the promotional side, the TV series, you know, to promote Gunpla. So it's that exact same thing, but I have to disagree when people say, oh, there's no serious storytelling when it comes to Gundam, which I fully disagree with. I've seen my fair portion, I have, so to say that at the least. So, and you know, it's the same with who bloody you to Prince Sama. I've got so many people that are obsessed with that in the game, and you know, oh yeah, that's just for promotional. So is the anime in the game for the game and stuff. You know, it's just a bunch of time of loving these pretty boys and Mamoru's voice. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about it right now. Yeah, Tokiya Ichiya is my favourite boy, just FYI.
Well, because Miyano Mamoru is the best. Like,
I know you love him. I know you love him.
What show he's in, regardless of if I hate the show, if not the character, because, like, I'm not going to say I like Light Yagami, but his performance as Light Yagami is fantastic. But yeah, if he's in a show, even if I don't necessarily like the show, he's always my favorite part of it. A good example is Gutchman Crowds. He's the villain in that. And he's also in Inoboku SS is not a bad show, but he was my favorite part of that show. Like, there's a lot of times where I'm like, I'm just watching it for him. At some point, I'm like, this didn't start out good, but and it didn't stay good, but it's got Miyano Mamoru. I'm watching it.
Yeah, anything with him in it is, definitely good. I think the first time I ever heard his voice, that I've heard it so many times now that you end up knowing it. It's different with English voice actors. Like, that's pretty easy. I think it takes a long time for you to pick up on a Japanese voice, is what I've found. And first time I heard him was in one of my favorite shows that's a very unknown one, called Munto TV by Kyoto Animation. One of KyoAni shows that never gets mentioned, like, never. And we probably will talk a bit about KyoAni in a minute, or rather on the subject. And don't worry, not to go on a downer note, okay? It's because I want to talk about it, but I've chosen to hold off for the time being, until I actually did the podcast with G, because I thought it'd be interesting, to hear, your thoughts and stuff. But it was Munto TV and him playing the main role of Munto, and I was just in a spell after that. I was under his spell. It's also the same. I can pick up on a character from Yona of the Dawn Hack, the Japanese voice actor for that, which is Tomoaki Maino. I'll probably say my Japanese pronunciation is terrible, but yeah, I've grown to really love him. He's been in so many different things. I love him in The World's Greatest First Love. He just has this exuding, beautiful voice, the same as Mamoru, so he's another favourite. Going on, do you have any other favourite Japanese voice actors?
Yes, I love a lot. I do like a lot of very talented seiyuu. One of my favorite is Nobunaga Shimazaki, who is I don't know if you've watched the show dubbed or in Japanese, but he's Haru from Free.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I like Tomokazu Suzuki, who is Makoto in Free. I enjoy lot of but I also like Megumi Han, who is gone in Hunter x Hunter, but she's currently playing Momiji in the new Fruits Basket. Maria Issei is Killua in the 2011 Hunter x Hunter. She's fantastic. There's other ones that are in my brain, but I can't think of right now because
I stumped you.
There are so many that I follow and who've done a great job. Uchida, who's currently doing Kyo from Fruits Basket as well. He's fantastic. He was also Ash Lynx in the most recent Banana Fish show.
Oh, it's good.
There's a lot of very, very talented seiyuu. There are some that are very popular that I don't like in a lot of their more popular roles, like Yuki Kaji. I enjoy him in things like Number 6 and Noragami, but I don't like him so much in Attack on Titan. He's Eren and in that show. I find sometimes in certain shows or in certain roles, he's very hammy and not very authentic, I think is the right word, but other shows he's fantastic. So I find that there's also, because when a seiyuu becomes popular, they become popular. They're in everything. So a lot of times I do pick up on the same voices again and again and again, and I prefer, if I get too used to it, I have that voice associated with a singular role, rather than being like taken into the shows. Like, yes, I believe that is this character. I'm just remembering one of their prior performances. Miyano Mamoru has always been very, very distinctive to me. It's so much so that, like, even if he breathes, I can tell. Even if he said a singular word, he's like, I'm like, oh my god! And he was one of the very first. I mean, my first show was Death Note, and I watched that in Japanese. And so, again, I mentioned he's Light Yagami, and it's an incredible performance. And that really just, I don't know, it imprinted on me very hard. So it's just been something. Again, although he does have a very distinctive voice, regardless of his character, I'm always drawn in. He does usually play like the pretty boy, sort of flirt a lot. I think he has a lot of fun when he plays antagonists, but usually they're like just kind of well-meaning antagonists. And then, whenever he's in a show, I'm always enjoying it, as I said. So there's quite a few seiyuu that I do really love, but he is by far, my favorite, So.
No, he's a very good choice. I just know what to quote for this podcast when I tweet it out. G fangirls. Go to this portion of the video. No, Mamoru, he's good. He can utilize his voice very, very well, and I think that's just a key thing you have to have in voice acting. And when I heard him play his main character in Munto TV, Munto, he plays a king. He had this very regal presence. It was very serious, and this voice that swooned me over. I'm like, oh, who are you? And then over the years, slowly that love has built, seeing him so many different roles, and like now I can say, oh, I know who he is, and I've heard him enough in this. And in terms of female actresses, there's a lot I love, but I only go by the characters because I never remember their names. Like I watched Sound Euphonium recently, and I love the girl who played Kumiko, Tomoyo Kurosawa. She's been in a few things I've liked. She has this quirky sort of personality just in general, so that's just an example. That's been something I've been interesting to hear, like what, I don't think that's a common thing that's really asked during podcasts. Oh, who's your favorite like voice actor and actresses in anime and stuff that are Japanese? It's obvious to say English ones, but do you have some favorite English voice actors for yourself?
I honestly haven't watched a show dubbed in a very, very long time. And that's not through any fault of the English cast. I just usually watch things streaming first, and then I just get used to the Japanese, so I don't tend to go back and listen to it in English. So there's not really a role that is very... I mean, maybe Travis Willingham, he's good. I enjoy... I mean, Laura Bailey's done good stuff, and
I've been watching her. I've been watching her in the dub as Tori. She freaking nails it, nails it, just like she did last time. I'm happy.
There's a lot of very talented people. Maxie Whitehead was very good. Aaron Dismuke's done good stuff. Even after Alphonse Elric, he's done some pretty solid roles. But again, I don't have anyone like immediate in my mind because I don't really watch that many dubs currently.
Yeah.
So I do, like you said, English voices for me usually, because I am maybe able to pick out certain language quirks that I don't in the Japanese. They are very obvious, so even more so than I do with the Japanese side. If I've heard someone in a particular role and then I hear them in another show, I'm just thinking of that other role because of how distinct their voice is. So it's a little bit of mixed bag for me on the English side, but again, that's not really a measure of quality on their end, more so just my familiarity.
Oh no, we must go there. We must go to one of the common wars that are within the anime community: sub or dub. I know. I friggin' hate it too. You all out there who want to start a war over sub and dub, respect people's choices. Just do it. Just do it. Nah, look, I watched a lot of subs. Back in the day, I refused to watch any subs. I'm like, I can't stand reading subtitles. This was 15-year-old me, though, 16-year-old me. Then, I don't know, somewhere along the way, I just became comfortable with watching subs, and ever since then, I've been fine. But there are some times where I'm lazy and I don't want to read subtitles, so flick on a dub and it's great. So I just did a video. I recorded a video yesterday in commemoration of bringing back a video series, which you'll see hopefully maybe within the next week. And I talk about in there ending a particular anime from my collection, and it's one of my favorite dubs and stuff, and because it's very iconic, it's got a lot of popular actors and actresses in there, and I have my favorites. I think maybe I would love to on the more of the Japanese side of things. I'm slowly learning, picking up on little people's slangs and quirks and in their tone of voices, like in English, I would love it if there was more and more new faces come into the mix, iconic ones like, Vic Van Young and Jeremy Lee and Caitlin Glass. Like, I love all of them, but you know, like every time they announce an English dub, it's always the same people. I don't mind. It's just, you know, I think with the industry always forever changing, I think it's great to bring, you know, fresh people. Like people couldn't take it with Momiji's voice for the English dub because it's a mixture of English and German, which in the manga he is from a German background, whereas it's such stigma that people are stuck with the old dub and his cute voice, and I am too. It's taken me a while to get adjusted to Momiji's German voice, which I think the girl who plays him does really well. I think it does a really good job, but not a lot of people agree. So, but yeah, so sub and dubs. I think, you know, you like what you like on that, people. So
yeah.
But leading into, well, anime manga itself, I was going to stump you with something you got to think off the top of your head. So what would your favourite anime and manga? Just 3 of them you have to name. I was going to give you 10, but that'd be cruel. What were your 3 ongoing ones that you really like at the moment, anime and manga?
So ongoing, currently I'm watching some of the new season stuff. I don't often watch seasonal shows, but I've been trying to get back into the habit of watching more seasonal stuff. But I'm really enjoying Vinland Saga. That is doing an amazing job right now. I am also really enjoying, what's the other one that I'm watching? Fruits Basket, of course, 2019. And there is something else that I'm watching, and I can't remember the name of it. Not Dr. Stone, although I'm watching it. It's not one of my favorites. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, probably, although I'm a little bit behind on that
I think you're watching Given? Given?
Oh, yeah, I am watching Given. Yeah, Given's very good. I don't know if it'll be one of my absolute favorites, but considering it's a BL manga adaptation, it's definitely better than a lot of the ones we get.
I couldn't agree more with that. I think it's going to be a bit of a special one. I think it's going to be. Yeah. So,
unfortunately, in the anime sphere, BL don't get that great representation.
No.
The best in my opinion is, of course, Dokusei or Classmates, which is just a film, but that's beautiful. And usually the other ones are manga that I don't read, wouldn't read, and have no interest in reading. The exception is Sekaiichi Hatsukoi or World's Greatest First Love, but I know that that's not really a good series. I refuse to watch things like Super Lovers, and even
I've seen the first season of that. You're not missing
out. The other one that I don't remember, that does have the manga coming out, and I can't judge it because I haven't read either, but it's a student-teacher relationship, and I'm not into that. So Given's a nice...
That's fine. So we don't always have to go with the taboo. Not that really boys' love is really taboo in general, unless you got the pure one. You have the pure side, then the taboo side.
Well, I mean, you can have darker themes in your BL series, and I don't have an issue with that. I'm looking forward to the upcoming film of Twittering Birds Never Fly. That's the series I enjoy a lot. So it's definitely something, I'm aware of, but I don't. I hope that it does turn out good, and so far so good for Given.
Yeah, no, I think it will, but I think there's some swirling themes in there. The first episode kind of gave it away a bit. There'll be the theme of suicide in there. There will. So, but you know, I've seen plastered all over Twitter people trying to spoil with the manga and stuff, and I don't know how they've read the manga because it's not an English publication yet. But it's only like 5 volumes anyway. So I think this series is going to be. I think maybe it gets an alternate ending to the manga, possibly, since it's so short. I don't know, but I love it has a nice, nice, calming, like relaxing atmosphere it does when you're watching it. And yeah, I loved it when damn it, what's his name? What, the boy that sang? I can't remember his name. Yeah, that was such a cute bit, and I think this is one of Studio Lurch's really pretty series. They have a nice animation style. It's always really colourful and visually bright. So we got Vinland Saga. I haven't touched that one yet. I mean, I'm interested in Vikings, and that's been talked about a lot, but I'm not. It's not on my current radar. It will be. It goes on the long list of things to watch and read. But what was your manga? I think I can guess one of them. I think I can.
Well, Our Dreams at Dusk is like a very obvious one for me. I love that series, and I'm really happy that it got licensed. I'm trying to think what else is coming out, because I follow so many series and so many ongoing series. Oku is fantastic, really in my wheelhouse with historical fiction. And Fumi Yoshinaga, she's a fantastic writer. And probably a Bard Story. Again, like not a surprise there, because I love Kaoru Mori, historical fiction, love her characters and her character writing. But I love a lot of the series. I wouldn't be collecting them if I didn't love them a lot. So, everything from, Noragami to the Girl from the Other Side to, Devil's Line is technically over, but not quite important.
I'm nearly finished with that. You're the reason I got on that train of Devil's Line. Oh my goodness. It's like everything I want in a vampire series and more. Speaking of the Girl of the Other Side, I think it was on the Fall Anime 2019 list, so I don't know why I decided to randomly look, but I did. And they're going to bring out a little short film or OVA to do with the manga. So I didn't know if you knew that or not. So
I don't know. I feel like I may have heard that news, but I didn't. It's not like right in the forefront of my brain, and it's not unusual for manga to get single OVAs bundled with whatever the most recent volume is. Again, to promote the series, but also I think to gauge interest in a full series of that title. So yeah, it'll be interesting if we see it in some form or another going forward.
Yeah, I've seen the volumes at my library. Like, I've read through the first volume. It's not really like my cup of tea. It's not. It's nothing really to do with the art style. I think it's just to do with the story. But I mean, from the good and positive feedback it's getting, like, I can definitely see why. But I think a lot of people would be put off by the style of drawing it is. Because it looks, some people, it would look like a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old had drawn it, like, or maybe not that, maybe 11-year-old, but, I don't mind that. So I guess we could call it kiddie-ish, like manga style, but it does work with what particular stories. That type of drawing style, I really enjoyed a series called Pink. It was by Oki. Here we go, people. My name remembering is crap. It was about it's
Kyoko Okazaki.
Yeah, she's a mangaka from the 80s. I loved it, about love and capitalism. It's a very unique story, but some people would be a bit I think a bit weirded out, probably. I want to read her other one called Helter Skelter.
Helter Skelter is very good.
Yeah.
Almost darker than Pink. Although Pink has a lot of dark themes to it, but Helter Skelter is really full on. So, but very good. Again, I think it's one that is josei with a little bit of teeth if you're wanting something more than just like office lady romance.
Yeah, was it there's nothing wrong with office lady romance. I got Mackie.
Yeah,
I've got Mackie.
Wrong with it, but if you're wanting something a little more than that, is
I think it was about plastic surgery, was it about plastic surgery?
It's about sort of the perception of women within the media and how sort of throwaway celebrity, especially female celebrities, are, and this pressure to look good and to be a good, or be a perfect or pure person, and so obviously celebrity for young women tends to go hand in hand with plastic surgery, with a lot of makeup and work done, and constructing this false self to present to the cameras. The issues of like drug abuse and all those sorts of things within the industry as well, sexual manipulation and all sorts of things. So if that sounds interesting, check it out.
All the stuff that people might be triggered by, yet it really excites some people with themes like that. I never used to be into like really dark psychological stuff way back when, but again, it's something I'm weeding my way into. But definitely Helter Skelter. I think speaking of, now the one I thought you were going to say for your favourite ongoing manga would be Blue Flag.
Oh, I mean, ongoing, and I adore that series, but it hasn't got a print run, which is why I was like not immediately thinking of it. But that one, right. Guys, please pick up the books. It's Volume 1 comes out, I think, February 2020. It's phenomenal and is absolutely beautiful. And if you're not wanting to wait until next year, you can read the entirety of it so far legally for free on the Manga Plus app, pretty much anywhere worldwide aside from Japan, Korea, or Taiwan. So if you're not in one of those countries, you have access to it, and it is amazing. Really enjoyed Kaito's previous work, which was a shonen sports manga about a female lacrosse team, and that was really fun. That's on the Viz Shonen Jump app, and Blue Flag is their current work and just phenomenal.
Oh, sorry. You mentioned the lacrosse one. What was that one called?
Cross Manage.
That's funny because I just started reading that last week.
Yeah,
first volume. It's very cute. It's very cute. Yeah, I'm reading that for certain reasons for an upcoming video I have planned. But yeah, Blue Flag, again, I heard from you. And what better way, people? Free app. My God, I mean, I do want to start, it's been on my radar for a while. And yes, I do want to start reading it. And I had no idea it was going to get in print publication, which is fantastic. I think the most one I was excited for in terms of announcements this year at Anime Expo was Perfect World. Oh, obvious! But I only read the first volume and I was going to collect it digitally, but now it's going to get a print. It's like, I'm going to have to get the print version, not the digital now. So that is that one I preach to you all. Go read, especially it's about disability. My God, I don't think I've come across just a series talking about disability, and this representation's really fantastic. From me personally having it myself, having autism, I kind of felt like, someone heard me in the anime universe somewhere. So, so again, I think it's fantastic, and there's loads of stuff coming out. The world needs to take a pause for a second with anime and stop announcing crap, because none of us can keep up. So I think two of the other ones I was excited for is Beyond the Clouds, which I interests you definitely. That's a G manga. And I think another one would be The Night of the Ice.
Yeah,
that one.
That's very interesting.
Oh, that one's gonna be good. You just know it in your Annie bones. Another one I was actually pretty surprised about. I haven't heard from this author for a while, which was Natsumi Ando. Sorry, she's bringing out Something's Wrong with Us, which is supposed to be about a man and woman It's surrounded on sweets. I think that's all I know. Traditional.
Not just that, but a murder.
I didn't really read up about it. That's all I knew. Sweets and a couple. Like, oh, that'll do me because I loved her work. I've loved all her previous works, which is Kinship Princess, Arisa, and Let's Dance a Waltz. She's got the shoujo neck. She's got it.
No, this one's a little bit darker in that the girl, she believes that the guy who was her childhood friend murdered her father and blamed her mother for it. So I believe she's trying to get evidence that happened, and they fall in love or something. Again, I haven't read it. It is one that I'm interested in for sure. But there was so many Anime Expo announcements that I was really excited for. San Diego Comic-Con just ended, and there was not a huge amount of announcements, but it's always interesting to see what certain publishers bring out. And then of course we have Otakon this coming weekend as well, so I'm not sure we'll get much manga side. We do, but there will probably be stuff from the anime side. Definitely Discotek. I'm not sure about like Funimation or Sentai or anything like that, because they had a sort of weaker showing at Anime Expo, but who knows? We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that Discotek now, because Discotek bring us the old anime, which I love. Thank God they exist in this life. But yeah, I think I agree. I didn't hear anything about Funimation, Sentai, nothing, which was really weird.
Yeah, the only thing from Sentai that was announced, because they only announced maybe 3 things, and I wasn't interested in any of them aside from the OVA for Kase-san and Morning Glories, which is a Yuri.
Oh yes, oh my god, how could I forget? Sorry.
It's only an hour-long OVA, sort of like with Classmates, so I think that's a good length for that type of thing, and I adore the manga, and I've heard nothing but good things for the OVA/film, so I'm looking forward to that one. Funimation, I don't think they had anything. Maybe they did and I didn't pay attention. But Discotek,
how can you pay attention? It's too hard.
Yeah. The Discotek will have a lot, and I'm sure there'll be plenty that I don't really have any interest in, but if they have 1 or 2 things that I do, then I'll be happy. And they always have sort of some wild card stuff that I'm interested in, so that's always a plus for me.
Oof, they do. They just announced for Kyo Karamoya Season 2, thing that comes out in August. I never thought they would get a Blu-ray release. I just wanted to cry. I wanted the series for years.
I expect that the 3rd season and the OVAs, which have never been licensed, will probably be one of their Otakon announcements.
Oh God, I hope so.
Don't hold me to that. I'm not saying
I will now,
sure, but that they have put the first 2 seasons on Blu-ray, then it would make sense that they have the rest of it as well.
Yeah, I was just dumbfounded at the beginning of this year. Oh, we just put out season 1. I'm like, I already own season 1. Oh wait, I'll buy it again. And I'm just, Kyo Kamo is one of my all-time favourite comedies, and you should all go watch it. It's had some pretty men, not a lot of female characters in there, but it has all pretty men in it, and I've just wanted it in my collection for years. I mean, years ago they had a really special edition they did, but that is so hard to find. And then on eBay it's like $200 or something.
Yeah, I used to have them and then I sold them because I like the premise of Kyo Karamao, but I didn't like the execution necessarily, and I don't like Yuri as a main character very much.
I know, he's a bit of a wish-wash. A little bit.
Well, that's not bad. Because my favorite character is Wolfram, and he treats Wolfram pretty badly. So
I know. Wolfram, little darling Wolf.
Wolfram. It's just very early 2000s, and so a lot of things are jokes that I don't think would necessarily fly as jokes now.
Yeah.
Very dated. So, yeah, it's just not one that I personally want in the collection, but I'm glad that it is getting like a proper Blu-ray release for people who do enjoy it, because it is a popular show and a popular franchise. And if it is completed, I'm sure a lot of people will be really happy. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, it probably won't be everybody's cup of tea, but it's actually funny because I remember scrolling through eBay and I think I did see it on your eBay page. I didn't know it was you, but I recognised the table and the plant that you use in your videos. And I'm like, wait, is this G? And I'm like, oh, this is a I don't know how I stumbled upon your eBay account, and I'm like, oh, it's got Kyo Karamori, and before I could even get it, it was already sold the next day, and I'm like, crap. So, but yeah, there's just so many exciting things, and I don't know where this year has gone, 2019. I just like, there's just so much to absorb. There's just so much, and I feel it should only be appropriate because it should talk about the full anime 2019, because there's probably 2 shows on there that I know that you're excited for. You think of what shows do you think that I know that you're excited for, G? Can you think?
Well, Try for season 3 is obvious. That's not even a question.
I'm currently rewatching Chihayafuru.
It's a phenomenal series and one of my favorite. I don't know what else. Haikyuu. Well, is that actually coming out, or is they just having the?
It says it's on there.
I think it's coming.
September the 22nd. There's supposed to be an event they announced last year that was going to reveal some information, but it's been confirmed on loads of websites that there will be a season 4, but I think there is some confusion over it right now. Yeah, I don't know, but all I know is we're getting something, Haikyuu.
I mean, I'm excited for season 4 whenever we do get it, and it would make sense that we do get it because it's a hugely popular series both in manga and anime form. I just don't know when exact month it comes out. I don't watch a lot of shows seasonally. Like, there's only a few that I do. Chihayafuru is one of them. You know, whenever there is a season of Free, I watch that as it comes out week to week because I'm a big fangirl. And there's certain things here and there, but a lot of the time I just wait and just watch it all at once. But yeah, Chihayafuru is one that I watch week to week. If we get another season of Natsume, whenever that is, not this year, but I can guarantee we're getting one in the coming years, season 7. I'll be watching that. But yeah, for as much anime as I watch as well, I can never remember what's getting second seasons or other seasons or whatever else, because I just don't follow things that closely anymore until they actually come out. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to watch that.
No, that's fine. You should coast along at your own pace. Definitely, you know, there's always too much seasonal coming out to even keep up with. I never even finished Banana Fish, and I. You know, that was highly on my list, for example, and then that just kind of fell off the bandwagon a bit. It did. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Chihayafuru, I'm excited. I need my Taichi. I need to see Taichi so bad. I need to see all of them. Oh, I was scared we weren't gonna get a finale for Chihayafuru. I was really worried. And then it happened, so...
I was surprised that we got a 3rd season announced, but I think the manga is wrapping up sooner rather than later, so I think they might tie that into... But there's a lot. Chihayafuru is a very long manga. It's 43 volumes long currently, so I don't know whether or not an extra season of 25 episodes will be able to cover everything that the manga has out and needs to wrap it up completely, or if another season after that may be needed. But yeah, it's phenomenal, and I recommend everyone try it, even though it is a little bit, different compared to a lot of sports series that are out there.
Oh, it is. I mean, it was my very first sports anime ever. It was, and it kind of complete. When I compared it to watching Haikyuu right after, it's just like, oh yeah, there's a massive difference here, but it's so like educational. Like, I didn't know about karate and the card game and the 100 poems. It's a very educational anime. That representation does fantastically well. So I'll always preach for Chihaya all the time. I've gotten some people on board in the past, so there's always more victims for the future. So but I think there was one piece of news that came out this week, I'm sure it was this week, about a particular series that's finally getting a manga coming out in December. I think you know what it is.
I don't know.
I'm being horrible testing you. I'm probably going to say this wrong, but it's an 80s anime. It's the Rose of Versailles.
Oh, Rose of Versailles.
Yeah, Rose of Versailles.
Yeah, it took it on 5 years, but we got it eventually. We're getting it eventually. From what I understand, they've done a lot of back and forth between the actual English translation and the Japanese side, just to make sure everything was correct and consistent. And I look forward to when I can finally say that I have such a beautiful series in my collection, because it is an absolute classic. Again, the anime for that is fantastic. If you haven't seen it or watched it, it is technically out of print now, though, so I don't know how easy it is to get DVDs, but it's beautiful, amazing, very 70s dramatic shoujo, and hugely influential in Japan.
Yeah, it's definitely iconic. I managed to buy off-right stuff when it was about to go out of print, so I do own it. Just ashamed to say it, still haven't watched it. I have a TBR on my shelf of all the shows I've gotten and haven't watched yet, and that is one that I would love to watch before 2019 ends. But yeah, look, I love all that, cheesy, suspenseful, typical shoujo drama. So it's all good with me. But I think in terms of picking it up, I don't know if it's still available on Right Stuff. Right after I bought it, I think, I'm sure it was last year in December. They do, I noticed on their website when I last looked just last week, they do restock it, and then they do keep restocking it. But I think your best bet is going to be like eBay and secondhand sites to find it now, which is a crying shame. It really is, if it's, that iconic. So, but yeah, I don't know what made me go and get it. I really don't know, because I knew nothing about it except it was 70s and shoujo. And I'm like, I don't have any anime that's this old in all my collection. Most of mine are 80s and 90s. So I'm like, oh, I got a piece of 70s now. So, but yeah, so yes, very, very exciting stuff. But moving on to something that is not that exciting, it's not, which I did want to at least give a spill on. I did write a post about it last week, not knowing that such a tragedy would fall upon beloved Kyoto Animation. I didn't really know what to say when I read the articles, looked at Twitter. I mean, the response has been just insane from the community. Raised $1 million for them, and all the videos and articles I've watched of what it means to people. And I mean, KyoAni, I just think, why, the question I asked myself was, why did it have to happen to my favourite studio above all the rest for me personally? But it was what it was. And I read yesterday that the CEO wanted to create like a memorial park or like a memorial garden, which I think is a really beautiful thing. And I mean, you know, they're going to be timeless.
The thing is, okay, so my thoughts on, I wrote just a single tweet about it, from my actual opinion, I guess, of the whole thing when it was still happening. I was following it as it was happening on Twitter, and it was honestly the only thing I did all day, because it was just something so horrific, so absolutely upsetting. And I mean, it's the worst act of domestic terrorism, the worst act of mass killing Japan's had post-war. I mean, there's nothing compares to this.
No.
And the fact that it happened to a studio that is so adamant and has always been so adamant about promoting new young talent, of hiring women. It was run majority by women. It's still at the forefront of working conditions. They were the gold standard for the animation industry in Japan, and they deserve all of the respect for that, regardless of if you enjoy their shows. It's just an absolute tragedy, the loss of life. I don't care about the perpetrator. I don't want to know anything about him. I don't want to know anything about what's happening to. I don't want to know his name, anything, because it's not about him. If you talk about him, that's the fame he wants. And I would much rather spend my time remembering the 34 people who lost their lives tragically, the multiple people still in hospital fighting for their lives, and the loss of a studio, the loss of a building, I guess, and this icon within the industry that was so hopeful and so important for so many people. This will not kill Kyoto Animation. They still have projects. They still have a lot more planned in the future. And I know that as a company, their presidents, all of that, and just the support we've seen from the international community, from the Japanese community, they will not die. They're not going to let this end them. The fact that the building itself is going to be changed to a memorial park, I mean, that to me is that's the only thing you can do when you have such a tragic event happen. You're not going to restore the building and try and forget that anything happened. It's an obvious thing that you would make that into a place of memorial for all of those people. And I mean, it's just, there are so many things that Kyoto Animation has done, not just for the anime community, for the animation industry, that it's just such, I mean, it would be horrific if this happened to any studio. I would hate it if it happened to any studio.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But the fact that it happened to Kyoto Animation, where they were at the forefront of so many things, their shows themselves are so imbued with hope and to create happiness in people, even if you don't inherently like them or enjoy them. It's just such a tragedy that I don't think we'll see, hopefully, hope that we won't see something like this happen again, because it is just a nightmare. And it's something that I still am trying to process, because it's so difficult, and it's okay to not know how to react to this. And that's why I didn't do any follow-up posts about it. I haven't made a video about it. I don't want to really discuss it, because my whole feelings on everything are still very complicated and raw and emotional. And I'm just happy that the whole community, as I said, both in Japan and outside of Japan, and just the entirety of Japan, even outside of anime and outside of the anime community, has come to support them, because it is something that is just so terrifying and horrific and just terrible. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, what else can you say aside from that? It's just, yeah, and it gives you some gratitude as to, I mean, we take things for granted every single day, and I don't think anyone could have ever expected this to happen.
No.
And so the fact that it has, I hope it makes people more aware of just, there are people behind the things that we love, and it's important to care about them, more so than, oh, I like this show, and, the entertainment value of it.
I think it would also, when I was sitting here, I mean, I'm still trying to like half process it, even though I made the odd tweet here and there, but I mean, still right now, yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow. And I think, as you said, makes people more aware, about anything, people going down to the wire of people who do YouTube and stuff, that, there's people behind the thing. Just because, they're sitting in front of a camera may look happy, and they probably might be sad. The one pet peeve I have when it comes to the community sometimes is, especially I think I've noticed on Twitter about people want certain manga in digital first to be in publication. They can they express their thoughts, but it becomes overbearing, constantly doing it all the time. It's like, if you want something to be really in publication, you have to buy the digital first. I mean, that's how bloody Perfect World and such got, the attention. Publishers want to know, is this going to be, worthy of our time and such? And so, you have to count your stars. You have to count your blessings. You do. And I the first thing that went through my head through all of this is not the end for Kyoto Animation. It's nice for it to acknowledge and say thank you for all the wonderful works it's done, but I still believe it's not the end for them. And
of course.
So,
but it is so important to remember the amount of very talented people we lost that day, and it will affect the animation community for years to come. Like, there's no two ways about it. The fact that we lost 34 talented, young, amazing people is just horrifying. Yeah, I prefer not to speculate on who is missing, what's happened to individuals. That'll come out when it comes out and be confirmed by the studio and the families. I just people need to keep in mind that there are people behind the things that we enjoy. And I say this is in defense of mangaka all of the time who take hiatuses. These are people who are working themselves to create for us. And it's a very thankless job 90% of the time. So, yeah, it's just, I think people need to have a bit more compassion on a regular basis for the people responsible for the stuff that they enjoy and consume.
I think on that note, there was some mangaka, the mangaka of Dear Angel came out the woodworks, and it was, I think she's bringing out a new volume for Dear Angel manga. I told my friend, and she got very, very excited. So, people got lives, gotta respect that, and all I felt like doing recently is going on a Kyoto Annie binge, because I said in this life I wanted to see all the Kyoto animation shows. I think I've only seen half of them at the moment. So, but what's your favourite Kyoto animation show that you've seen, G?
My favourite show out of all of their works is by far Hyoka. I adore that show, and I think it's truly a very... It went unlicensed for so long, so I do think some people for a while it was very unknown or very underrepresented, but now that it has been licensed, I do think people are more aware of it and more people enjoy it. Um, yeah, I adore that show. I think it captures everything that I didn't even expect that I wanted from a show, and they just do it beautifully. Of course, the animation is beautiful, but the character development, the writing, everything is phenomenal in that series. I enjoy Nichijou. It's one of my absolute favorite comedies. Adore that series.
It's good
And
one.
of course, Free goes without saying. I love every part of that franchise. There's so much good in that show. I've seen almost all of Kyoto Animation stuff. I actually was in a similar mindset that I've been inspired to watch the stuff that I hadn't seen of theirs. So yesterday I finished Myriad Colors Phantom World, which is probably the most fan servicey of their show. I mean, it shows that it's not
more than free. Oh my god!
I mean, people say that Free is a fan servicey show in so far as like, okay, we've got half naked guys because they're swimmers. I don't see it as a very salacious like fan servicey show.
No, I agree. I said this in a video that I did a year ago, and that I said it's more than that. It's about the boys' bonds.
Yeah,
but I said I'm not going to say. But I said I'm not going to say no to bodies, hot bodies. No.
Yeah, whereas this show, we do have a lot of TNA. It's still not like nearly as gratuitous as a lot of like more ecchi shows, but it's very obviously there. But it's a fun show for what it is. Like it's probably a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It's not one of their best. It's but I wouldn't say any of their shows are bad. I still need to watch the second season of Chunibyo, mainly because the first season was a
sorry, I was just like
the first season isn't one of my favorite shows of theirs, so I'm like, that's fine. And so I need to get around to watching that. And I still need to watch Munto.
When you do, let me know. Sorry.
Aside from that, I think I've seen everything else they've done. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And aside from like the couple Chunibyo films. Oh, the second season of Sound Euphonium is the other one I need to watch. Again, because I don't know. I enjoyed the first season, and then when the second season was coming out, I just wasn't that motivated to watch anime, and so it just kind of fell down the priority list. So I hope to rectify that sooner rather than later. But I have seen Liz and the Bluebird, so I am sort of like up to date with Euphonium.
Sorry if I'm just sitting here like just basking in fangirlness right now. But sorry, go on.
It's a beautiful film. I also like A Silent Voice is amazing from them. I like a lot of Kyoto Animation's films. Even Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, I think, is the best part of that franchise by far. I enjoy all of the Free films or High Speed, whichever you want to quantify them as. Kyoto Animation is incredibly good at films. They're incredibly good at everything, but their films really do stand out to me. But most of their stuff I really enjoy. Even some of their popular stuff that aren't my favorite, I can understand why they're a lot of people's favorites. Things like K-On! And Lucky Star and Haruki. I've seen all of them, and I mean they're fun, but they're not like my first choice for a rewatch.
I agree.
They've done a lot of very good things and a lot of very iconic works. And if you haven't watched a lot of their shows, there's a lot of variation there and a lot of different sort of demographics and genres. So maybe check them out. A lot of them are available streaming on some sort of platform legally, and they're all on disc as well, so they're very easy to find. Surune is one of their newer shows, and I really enjoyed that as well. I'm looking forward to the disc release of that.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. I do follow. I follow their stuff very, very closely, but I hadn't followed it recently. So, what's that about? You can tell us.
It is a sports series about Kyudo, which is archery. So the traditional archery.
Oh, god damn it! Yes, sorry. Now I remember. Yeah, that one. That one's been recommended to me loads of times. Leader, bloody watch it. I'm like, yes, I will.
It's very good. Again, just sort of the male team. There are some female club members as well, but it's mainly the male team we focus on, and sort of just their relationships and high school stuff as per expected. It's another one that's based off of a light novel from their publication, like Free was, and Beyond the Boundary was as well. So it's sort of in-house stuff for them, and it's very good. All 14 episodes, 13 episodes plus OVA are available on Crunchyroll, so check it out there.
There you have it, folks. She know she said everything I was gonna say. With Hyoka, I've seen a few episodes of. It's been one I wanted to finish watching. Yeah, had a beautiful tone throughout. Something I easily would get swallowed up in. But yeah, probably I didn't know you didn't initially want to discuss it or not, so
I don't mind talking about it. It is just, I just didn't want to make a definitive statement about anything on Twitter or YouTube.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I thought that's why I waited. That's why I waited until now. I did to have a discussion with you because I probably knew you'd be able to say it a lot better than I would, to be honest. So, but no, not the end for them, and just go watch any of their shows. Just go watch any of them, people.
For them, there's also as well, I've tweeted about it, a lot of people have tweeted about it. If you're wanting to donate, but you're not super, you don't feel that comfortable with the GoFundMe from Sentai Filmworks, not saying that they're you should distrust them, but there is a bit of a complicated issue as to whether or not they'll be accepted. If you want to support KyoAni directly, they do have digital sales, like a digital store, that you can buy sort of like CGs or images, digital files from them for a couple bucks, and they do take international cards, and you get a download kind of screensaver for your money, and that money goes directly to them. They don't have to ship anything out. It's a easier way to do things. Or as well, they do have their merchandise, which of course does need to be shipped out, but that money goes straight to the studio, no problem. And that's probably an easier way and a more direct way to monetarily support them if you're wanting to donate a certain amount.
Oh, well, again, I was about to say that as well. But look, I will leave the links to all of that, to the GoFundMe page and the KyoAni store down below for you guys. But as G said, I definitely want to get one of the digital ones. I've been meaning to want to go definitely support them. I don't know what I get with Sentai Filmworks and the whole controversy, but you guys do what you want to do. You do what you want to do to support them. And you can support them even just buying Blu-rays and animes of the DVDs and everything. So every help little goes a long way. It does. But I think for now, we're on an hour and nearly 20 minutes. So I think I might wrap up things for now, guys. I will. But G, I just want to say a massive thank you for coming on the That Nerd Leader podcast. You're just a dime to talk to and listen to. You just got a good way with words and explaining things you do. So I know she's currently blushing right now. You guys won't see, but she's like a little embarrassed. But definitely go follow Miss G on her Twitter. It's Simply G, and also at her YouTube. She does a variety of hauls where she talks for so long. Oh my god. But we wouldn't have it any other way. We'd rather you be you, Miss G. We would rather. So you can follow her then. You can also follow her on English Light Novels. Is it .com or .org? I forget.
It's .com.
.com, yeah. Where Miss G reviews some light novels, which is very interesting. I love whenever you put out one, I automatically go read it. I read your recent one on J.K. Horror is a sex worker.
Yeah,
in another world. That was a very interesting read. I'm like, oh, this is a different isekai. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I said in the review, it's one that I think gets judged a lot on the title, and for good reason, I guess. But it's way, way, way better than I think a lot of people would expect. It is explicit insofar as like there's a lot of sex in it, because obviously our main character is a sex worker. But it's a interesting sort of breakdown of male wish fulfillment isekai and bringing like a feminist spin onto it. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you like female empowerment and you like reading about sex workers and that sort of thing, you're not afraid of reading about sex, which is, it's not written in like a erotic or pornographic way. It's just like, yes, this is
real life. Yeah,
this is what I do for work. Like, I'm not enjoying this really. It's very good. It is a little bit, because it was originally published on like chapter by chapter on a website, Naro. So it's sort of like a Wattpad, or maybe even like a fan fiction or AO3 website where authors do write work and present it for free. A lot of light novels come out on that sort of platform. Ascendance of a Bookworm, Overlord, like a lot of very popular light novels get their start there. So it's not really unusual, so don't base it on that. But because it is chapter by chapter, it's a little bit like each chapter is very much self-contained, and there can be a bit of disconnect between chapters, but overall it's a really, really good book and a really, really good translation. I actually had a discussion after I posted it with the translator on Twitter, and she is lovely. She did a really, really good job. So check it out. And there is a print edition that came out this month. So I read it digitally. I am thinking about picking up the print copy, although it's a bit hard to get here in Australia.
Everything's hard to get here.
But if you're wanting to support it, or if you've already read it and enjoyed it, there is the print edition coming out, or already out. So there's that as well.
Oh, how exciting. Well, I'll have to just go buy the print one now. And like I said, everything's difficult. I was joking. Not everything's difficult to get here in Australia. We have Amazon now. But is there anything that you would like to tell us, Miss G, of any upcoming videos or plans you've got? Because I know there's one.
Yeah, so for people who are familiar with me and my channel, I do have a very exciting video coming out this weekend. It's a collaboration with another manga tuber of whom you guys may know. It's a very exciting thing for me to be doing, and we're both really excited about it as well, so we hope everyone enjoys it. It will be a long video. It is close to, if not over, 3 hours.
Oh yeah, I'll get the popcorn ready.
But that's fairly standard, if you guys know.
If you're not, be prepared.
Yeah. But yeah, that's really exciting. I hope you guys enjoy that, and we're hoping to get some feedback on that as well. So feel free to let us know your thoughts in the comments on Twitter or whatever else. And that should be hopefully a monthly thing going forward. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but hopefully some of you guys will check it out. Aside from that, of course, I do have my regular hauls. I do have a couple art book videos coming out soon. Hopefully I need to record a little bit for those for these coming weeks. And then I do also have a first impressions video I hope to get out soonish. As well, obviously Lita mentioned my Twitter. I do have a new Instagram account as well, where I am posting on a fairly regular basis, which is at Collecting G, or no, it's at G Reads Manga.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say she entered into the Instagram world now. And what do you find of how do you think the Instagram is?
I'm not super duper invested.
Yeah, it's not like my first priority of when I look on my phone or when I go on an app. It's not my first priority. Primarily, it's always freaking Twitter.
I've been posting there on a semi-regular basis. I'm currently doing a manga challenge on there, so I have been posting almost every single day. But I do have some sort of updates, and I do have some video. If you like that sort of thing, maybe check that out. Again, if you are wanting to actually talk to me or I guess get my attention, though, Twitter is definitely the place to do that, more so than Instagram. But, whichever you guys prefer. I'm trying to cover all my bases here. It's been far too long, and I haven't had any sort of Instagram for the channel or for privately either. So it's a learning experience for me. I'm getting there slowly but surely.
We're all not techno savvy. I mean, I get exhausted from using Twitter and Instagram on a daily basis. Like I need my downtime. But yes, you can follow G on all of those accounts. And in terms of the next podcast episode, I will actually be recording it this weekend, and I will be doing it with a fellow Annie blogger. And we will be covering the genre of space and mecha. So that'll be an exciting one. That's if I can finish a show I need to. And so I think that'll be all. That will. So again, thank you so much, Miss G, and
thank you everyone for listening. And
I'm sure they're having. Hopefully, they all had a laugh. That's what the aim is here, and also to introduce you guys to some of the awesome people that are within the anime community. If you're wanting now, I should tell you also before I go that Nerd Leader podcast is finally on iTunes. Finally got friggin' approved. They decided to. So it is on Spotify. It is on SoundCloud. It is on Anchor. So there's so many ways for you to listen. And if ever want future updates, just follow me on my Twitter at Kino Reviews. That's with a capital K. Always got to mention that because people just put in lowercase. I made a mistake when I made my username. There was a capital K, and I'm like, crap, can't really change this. So, yes. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this podcast, and I'm sure I will definitely have Miss G on here again in the foreseeable future, as that is one of her favourite words to say, the foreseeable future. So we will say goodbye for now, and that Nerd Leader is out for now.
Bye.